As Kenyans will recall, teachers had raised a number of issues. To be specific, 8 issues that they wanted resolved. The first of these issues was the issue of the recruitment of additional teachers. The next was for funding to be made available for the promotion of teachers. They also had the issue of commuter allowance, medical allowance, responsibility allowance, special needs teacher allowances. There was the issue of house allowance, as well as the issue of leave allowance. Of all those issues raised by teachers, the one to do with recruitment, in the budget of this year, provision was made for the recruitment of 10,000 additional teachers. With regard to their issues of promotion, funding was made available in this fiscal year to take care of those promotions. With regard to commuter allowance, responsibility allowance, and the special needs allowance, in consultation with the constitutionally mandated body, which is the Salaries and Review Commission, as a government, we engaged the commission, and they gave us parameters within which we should negotiate with teachers. On those issues, we stand ready as soon as the teachers are at the table to discuss those issues in line with the guidelines that were given to us as a government by the SRC. On the issue of house allowance and leave allowance, again in consultation with SRC, SRC said on these 2 issues, the matter is not a matter that just touches on teachers alone, but is a matter that touches on the entire public service. And they told us that they needed time for them to have further in-house consultations before they can give us a way forward on those issues. Again, not saying that we are not willing to discuss, but again, we need to follow the law, and we abide by the fact that as soon as we get a position from SRC with regard house allowance, with regard leave allowance, again, we are ready to engage teachers on those issues. I'm addressing you today once again to really call on teachers through their unions. As a government, we are ready to talk, but we cannot talk on the streets. We have to be at a table. There is no reason for our children to suffer, for parents to suffer, when people are ready to sit down and discuss. I really, once again, with all due humility, plead with our teachers to resume their responsibilities and to allow their representatives to sit down with government in accordance with the ruling of our own court and to finalize these discussions. Our children are at a very delicate stage as they're preparing for their mocks, and we need to take this into account and to recognize that the challenges we have, we're not going to be resolved by shouting at one another, but rather by coming together and reasoning together and finding solutions that are both sustainable and that ensure that we look after the welfare, not just of the teachers, but of all Kenyans wherever they may be. That let us walk together and find an amicable solution which can only be done through dialogue. There is no other way this can be done. Let's resume our responsibilities and let's go back to the table and resolve the issues before us. We are willing to look at all issues. And in fact, indeed, when it comes to the 2 legal notices, there are very clear issues around that. Very, very clear issues, which I think some of you are already aware, and many issues that have already been handled. But all those points, and that is really the key point, all those points are not going to be discussed by us shouting at one another, ladies and gentlemen. That is the most important thing. They can only be resolved at a table where we sit and discuss. And the teachers know that they have engaged me personally in the past. And everything that we have discussed with them, as a government, we fulfilled. So therefore, I see no reason why we would not be able to find a proper solution to the issues still pending before us. Thank you for coming.